So I talk about boots all the time, but what about socks? And this is a question I get asked quite a bit. Today I'd like to talk about Camel City Mill work socks, made with a special blend of 53% merino wool, 38% nylon, 9% spandex, and with heavy cushion in the toe and heel for steel toe boot support. Full cushion through the calf, specifically designed for all-day comfort in 6, 8, or 10-inch boots. Light cushion through the metatarsal, light compression in the calf. So because of the merino wool, it is 35% better at wicking sweat compared to polyester socks, which is what most sweat wicking brands use. They also use thermal imaging and analyze the specific hot spots where most heat gets released. And so built into these socks is no sweat venting to keep airflow high and moisture low. These socks are also backed by a 10-year guarantee. One single thread of Ironside merino wool from Camel City sock is strong enough to pick up a 15-pound weight. In addition to that, the high-density knit that they use allows for padding around the heel, ball, and instep of your foot, so even the toughest boots feel comfortable. They weave spandex and nylon into the fabric to create light compression around the arch of your foot. The compression helps circulation. These socks are proudly made in North Carolina, USA, using 100% US merino wool. Even the sheep they use are American. I picked up 3 of these. They make it easy. There's 2 sizes. There's large and extra large. Large covers sizes 8 to 11. Extra large are sizes 11.5 to 14. So I obviously got the large size because I'm a 9 Brannick. I got the lightweight and I got the heavyweight. I felt very well cushioned and balanced and moisture free in the socks. I would say that if you're on your feet all day, that if you're looking for a made in the USA, no nonsense, really tough sock, then I would say go for the American made merino wool sock by Camel City Mill. One thing that I like that they do is if you buy 3 pairs, you get 5% off. Buy 5 pairs, get 10% off. Buy 10 pairs and get 15% off. You can get them in black or gray, large or extra large, and you could get them in heavyweight or lightweight. The heavyweight are $27.99, the lightweight are $25.99. If you end up getting a larger order, you can save some cash there. In addition to all that, their socks are very highly rated by customers on the website. Their co-founder, Will, he has done strength tests on each individual strand, and they are very strong. They actually have a sense of humor, as you can see in these pictures from a recent email. We can see Elon Musk sporting some Camel City Mill socks.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself.
I see also he's equipping all the Muskonauts, equipping them to colonize Mars in these Camel City Mill socks. Here we have Bill Gates, who I'm not actually such a big fan of, but you know, he apparently likes the socks too. Bigfoot is rocking the hell out of those Camel City Mills. I guess he needs them to survive out there in the harsh jungles. And here's the Loch Ness Monster sporting some as well. I mean, it makes sense. Those waters look like they get pretty cool. Last but not least, we have Bleep Blorp here. He also enjoys these Camel City Mill socks. And all jokes aside, what is my opinion of these socks? Yes, I think they are worth the money, especially if you buy them in a larger quantity so that you can get a discount on them. I think a lot of guys underestimate the warmth afforded to you in these colder months by having wool socks on. Even if you have like a light jacket on, if it's super cold outside, even if you lack other layers and essentials, a good quality wool sock will really retain that heat when your feet touch the ground, and your body can much better regulate itself in a thermogenic sense if you have some wool on your feet. Not to mention they are super comfortable, especially the thicker ones. The thin ones do feel like sort of standard wool socks to me. The thick ones have a really, really cloudy cushion to them. They're super comfortable. Probably the most comfortable socks I've ever worn. The one downside I will say to wool socks is, me personally, I don't dry mine in the dryer. I always hang dry them so that they don't shrink. And so that's what I've been doing with these as well. I find that wool socks, they don't last as long as cotton because wool actually acts kind of like Velcro. And over time and overuse and over abrasion, it can form pills. Now, that said, I haven't experienced that with these socks yet. They've actually held up really good. I think it's because of the blend that they use. It's not 100% wool, so that blend actually prevents a lot of the pilling and a lot of the shrinking and a lot of that Velcro action, because the way wool fibers interact with each other is they become compacted over time and they can lose their original shape. But these seem to retain their shape really well. So overall, you're getting a solid wool sock. Make no mistake about it. They did a lot of research and they are extremely comfortable. Even walking around recently in my Rogue Territory jacket, which does not contain a wool lining, in 30-degree weather, it was actually not keeping me very warm, but my feet were warm, and that in turn kept the rest of my body comfortable. From an outdoorsman perspective, it's known that a wool sock is highly preferred over cotton socks for many reasons. Wool is naturally antimicrobial. It wicks moisture, it retains heat even when it's wet. Things like this are important to keep in mind because cotton, if it gets wet, it gets heavy, it gets soaked. It is not antimicrobial. It does not wick moisture. Similar to how leather beneath your feet offers support, so does wool. Cotton doesn't really. The analogy I'd use is leather is to wool like rubber is to cotton. You know, most guys want rubber. They want the lug commando soles, but the more education you do, you realize like, oh, leather soles actually have a lot of really superior qualities over rubber soles. The same goes for wool. Wool is truly a miracle material. I love cotton. It is the fabric of our lives, but wool is miraculous in its own right, especially as we're getting into the winter. Long story short, do I think these socks are worth it? Yes. William absolutely nailed the blend and the look and the comfort and the utility of these socks. When I wear these, when I'm breaking in a stiffer new boot, it takes all the pain away. Like sometimes I'll get hot spots in my stiff new work boots, but with the help of these socks and the way that they cushion just in the right areas and they contour just in the right areas, I don't need a band-aid on my heels. I don't develop blisters. These really make tough to break in boots so much more comfortable, especially if you're wearing like a work boot like Red Wing. You'll want these socks because Red Wings, they have to be worn 30 to 100 times before they're fully broken in. They are really rough leathers to break in, especially if they're unlined. And so if you have a sock, a barrier between the rough out of the boot and your skin, then you can protect yourself and make that break-in process a lot more enjoyable, a lot less painful. Once again, link in the description below. Go check out my friends at Camel City Mill Socks. Give them a try if you're interested.